Currently it is, these events are just single elimination, 2 best of 5s into a best of 7 for the finals. And spawning down on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is PtitDrogo. And his opponent, spawning up the top left-hand side of the map, it is Reynor, playing for Team Exceed. Reynor managed to bring down his opponent, Clem. PtitDrogo managed to bring down Soul. We'll just have to, we'll just have to see how these two are going to butt heads. I think it should be a great one. I don't expect anything crazy like a 4-0. I wouldn't be surprised to see some aggression coming both ways, even. But then we could certainly see some late game, too. Now, Reynor is a guy who's pretty good at using those Zerglings, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some early Ling aggression or anything like that. But yeah, thanks to everyone for showing support to these events. You can always follow me on Twitter at LaughNgamez, or subscribe to my YouTube, also LaughNgamez. I'm LaughNgamez on pretty much everything. Now, build-wise, I believe we'll probably see PtitDrogo go for quite a few Stargates, but it's always possible with the not so recent patches anymore. But Protoss have been experimenting a little bit more lately, ever since the sort of Ling drop nerf went through. But Cybercore on the way for PtitDrogo. I doubt we'll see. I'm not sure what I was going to say there, but we're probably going to see quite a bit of changes in this match. I doubt we'll see the same thing over and over again. It is a best of 7 after all. Overlord moving in for Reynor, coming in to see exactly what's going on. Double gas for PtitDrogo, so probably going to be Stargate if I had to guess. And there it is. Reynor's Overlord is moving in. We'll see if it is just going to go right on in there to see the Stargate. I mean, it's PvZ, so I think Zergs are pretty well used to dealing with Stargates at this time, but Protoss don't necessarily go for Stargates for the element of surprise these days. It's more or less just the best choice for them. And this Overlord is indeed going to see that Stargate, so he's well aware this is on the way. PtitDrogo has the one Adept that's moving out and scouting. Other probe also had a look around. Now, Reynor's actually moving out with his Lings here. Maybe going to go for a bit of a cheeky run by here. His speed's only halfway done. The Adept for PtitDrogo is going to get on in. We'll see if he sort of senses that this is on the way, and he is returning home with his Adept right away. He has another one popping out, and he's going to get it in the wall, so he won't be caught off guard here by Reynor. I think he might have sniffed this out. Seeing the lack of drones on the natural, he has to think, yeah, that doesn't quite add up here for a normal PvZ. This Adept, though, could be caught if PtitDrogo is not paying attention, and he may just have to shade. There he goes. I think he will just escape. That Adept is lucky. He actually doesn't shade it through the wall, interestingly enough. That's a lot of Lings, though. With the 2 shield batteries getting up, PtitDrogo will be fine. Interestingly enough, he shaded behind the wall there. These shield batteries will finish up. I'm kind of curious why he didn't shade the other Adept through. And he recalls that one Adept. I'm pretty sure if he shaded it, that kind of makes me wonder why he didn't just shade it through in the first place. Because, I mean, it was going up. It probably could have made it, right? I don't know. But the Lings for Reynor are not getting too much done, but he's just macroing back at home. The Phoenix is out. Would be good to see it hunting out for those Overlords. I mean, he saw that one there. And there we go. He is going to go clean that up. Sees the Lings are still lurking out about there. Spore on the way here for Reynor as well. So he will be safe in the main base, at least starting one at the third as well. We'll see if he just keeps queens at his natural. Although so far he will be a bit exposed there. Oracle does come in though, gets a few drones here. Just a couple there. 2 drones going down so far, but any damage with the Oracle is good for the Protoss. Now I'm curious as to why PtitDrogo didn't keep the Adept in the wall. Maybe he thought it was going to be more aggression there. But these Adepts can't actually see this, so he's forced to warp in, or can't actually reach it, so he's forced to warp in more. But he warps in Zealots, interestingly enough. I'm kind of confused. Maybe PtitDrogo thought it was a lot more aggression than it really was. If he's killing the shield battery, he may as well dump its energy into healing the cyber core, but he does not. PtitDrogo in a bit of an odd situation there. Not how your usual PvZ opens up. A lot of gateways on the way for PtitDrogo. Looks like it will be a big charge attack. Templar Archon with that as well. So now Warp Prism, we'll see what PtitDrogo is able to get done. This is going to be quite a big attack. Reynor, of course, knows that his opponent is on 2 bases. He also saw the Zealot warp in, so he may be aware of what's coming his way. Sees the charge now, so he's well aware of what's going to be coming his way. 8 Hydras are on the production tab as well. Man, those Zealots move so fast with charge now. So here's this Warp Prism, warping in a couple of Archons, warping in some Zealots. Now, will Reynor be prepared? He's going to have 11 Hydras out. As long as he consolidates them, he's going to have the Queens to buffer too. I think he should be fine. 2 Archons is nothing to laugh at, though, on all these Zealots. But we'll just have to see what is PtitDrogo able to get done. If he sort of pounces on this army and backs it into a corner. Now, these Zealots are getting right on in here. The Phoenix even coming into, I guess, just to be a buffer. But Reynor is using good positioning in the base here. Repositions the Spore to try and get on top of the Warp Prism. These Hydras will actually focus down the Warp Prism, though, and that, I think, may just end this rush here. Without reinforcements, I doubt PtitDrogo will get too much. He has killed off 13 drones, though. Now he's going to have to run away there. If he gets these Archons out, that would be nice. I don't think Hydras, without their upgrade, can catch these, though. So PtitDrogo should be able to make it home with them. So that was a nice attack for PtitDrogo. He did get up his 3rd base. It's not like he neglected it and just said, well, I'm going for broke. No, he did he did actually transition, well, not necessarily transition, but did aim for a 3rd behind this. So his economy is actually pretty much on par with Reynor. Reynor let off quite a few drones there. He's now going into Psy Storm. It would be good to see him Chrono Boost that out, and he certainly is, dumping them into that. And his base layout is a little bit questionable. The Immortal does have to walk down and all the way around there. But PtitDrogo will have quite a decent army. He's warping in some more Templar. He's going to be building up that Immortal count. It would be good to see him continuously produce those. Make another Warp Prism first, though. So now we've got this 3-base Zerg with a lot of Hydras. Now, Reynor, once again, in the first game of his previous series, he neglected Banelings. So he isn't going to be having Banelings. It's just going to be mass Hydra and Lings. Going to be trying to break PtitDrogo, but PtitDrogo will have Psionic Storm here. Would we get to see him warp in another High Templar? Well, he will have 4. I believe that will be 4 storms in total, yeah. So he should be prepared for this. Reynor looks like he will be coming around the backside, though, so PtitDrogo's shield batteries are kind of out of position, and if he does just get on top of this Nexus, that would be unfortunate. And he does start morphing an Archon. That does get pushed around, though, but PtitDrogo will try and get on top of this. Now, these Hydras, they're pretty slow off creep, so we'll see what these storms are able to land. Reynor, good splitting so far. Another storm or 2 will be able to come out, though, and most of this army is just dissolving for Reynor. However, PtitDrogo mainly just got the Archons now. The Immortal's putting out a lot of damage. The Archons can eat these Hydras up relatively easy. Another Warp in coming in, too, so this attack will be shut down. 6 probes fell, so a little bit of a consolation prize for Reynor there, but he's still behind on the workers. This was quite a committed attack. PtitDrogo coming off creep to chase us down, though. May have overcommitted a little bit. Can't afford to lose these Immortals. He needs them. Warping in more Zealots is important too to buffer for this army. Now, while Reynor going to try once again, there is going to be some Storm in just a few seconds, though. We'll see. More Zealots are warping in too. That one Archon tries to kite back to the shield batteries, but does not make it. PtitDrogo warping in more and more units, so these High Templar do get focused down, though, so no Storms coming out. More Zealots warped in. The 2 Immortals are standing strong, and they are the linchpins in this army for PtitDrogo. He's managing to hold on. Another Archon being warped in. Reynor is just going for broke. Another Immortal comes forward. With these shield battery supports, I think PtitDrogo should be able to hang on. Once again, Reynor just can't quite break his opponent. He's up in supply. He's doubling the army supply, as for that matter. But PtitDrogo is going to have his +1 relatively soon, so as long as he holds on, the situation will get better. He's got 3 Immortals, so that's quite a decent amount. With these shield batteries, he should be able to kite back. Keeping that Archon alive is very nice. The Immortal's just putting out so much damage, but the Warp Prism goes down, so he's not going to be able to juggle these units. But so many kills for these units, though, for PtitDrogo. These these Immortals, 15, 14, and 5, so he's just slaughtered this. Reynor going for broke, though, bringing up the Queens as well. The Transfuse certainly will help out. One Scouting Zealot's moving down. PtitDrogo turns it around, sees the Queens, knows he just needs to hold this attack. He will be able to feed back the Queens, though. That would be pretty important. Is he going to do it? Will he feed back the Queens? Yes, he will. That's very nicely done. Transfuses not going to be a factor anymore, and once those are gone, it makes the army of Reynor look quite smaller, but he is going for a surround here. Army supply, PtitDrogo isn't too far behind. He's got all these Archons. He's got these Immortals. He's slaughtering the left side. These Immortals with some Zealot support are going to push out on the right. Even another Immortal joining. So PtitDrogo has held this, and I think he's going to go up 1-0 versus Reynor in a very nice defense here from our French Protoss. Reynor's retreating, but he hasn't been droning back at home. He just got Burrow for some reason, interestingly enough, or started it and then cancelled it. Now, he's remaking Queens, but PtitDrogo has the tech. He's getting upgrades. Reynor's making a, Lurker Den, pardon me. That'll take a while to come out. Maybe that's his one chance to hold on to sort of turtle from here on out while he drones up, but PtitDrogo's looking to take a 4th base. And with that, I think he probably could just push out and kill Reynor, maybe playing it a little bit safe. But once he has the Warp Prism out, I think he very well may poke. Or Archon's on the way too. This army is just so scary for PtitDrogo. 1+2 hits as well will be very strong. Reynor's been making units back at home, but he's down in army supply. The army of PtitDrogo is pretty darn unkillable, I think, with just Hydras. He's trying to get any bit of advantage he can. It'll be a concave PtitDrogo will be fighting up into, but there's so many Archons here. There's 7 Archons. Like 7 Immortals? Yeah, 7 of each. A few High Templars and Zealots sprinkled in there too. Yeah, Reynor's just going to get rolled over here. Here comes in PtitDrogo, just gonna close this game on out, I believe. One storm goes down, it lifts, but I don't think it really matters. Reynor is pretty dead here. PtitDrogo pushing in with a 2 upgrade advantage, a massive army supply advantage. Then storms blanketing this army as well. Reynor, I think, is just gonna have to go into the next game and we'll see what he's gonna do. He went for that bit of Ling aggression, but it didn't work out, and then he decided to go for that attack as a counter to what PtitDrogo went for, but this is just so much for PtitDrogo. Reynor's doing a decent job trying to shave away some of these Archons, but there's so many units here. I don't think he's going to be able to overcome this deficit. He's losing drones. Lurkers were out, but GG gets called. PtitDrogo takes the first match in the series. Going up 1-0 in a best of 7, certainly got to be a nice feeling for him. So the next map is going to be Catalyst. So very well played. We're just getting on into the next match. So the next map being Catalyst, I mean, I think that's a pretty good map for Zerg. We'll see what PtitDrogo's going to decide to do on it. That map that he took was his map pick. Alrighty. Alrighty. Both guys are ready, so we're getting on into it. It's Catalyst. Whoever takes... it's pretty important whoever takes the next match. PtitDrogo would buy himself a solid lead, whereas Reynor, tying things up, is obviously what he wants. So here we are. The best of 7 continues. Oh, whoops. I'm pressing all sorts of wrong hotkeys here. So, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, taking the first match in a pretty solid fashion, just doing what needed to be done. PtitDrogo, the French Protoss. And the first Italian we've ever had in Afreeca World. It is Reynor playing for Team Exceed. PtitDrogo likes his low ground wall-offs. I think most Protoss do these days. So we'll see what Reynor goes. Looks like it's just going to be a standard Expo build. No cheese or anything like that coming out of either of these guys. There's that third... Oh. There's that third hatchery. It's got to be... I think it's getting a little late for these guys in Europe. The tournament started at about 7 o'clock for them. So, we'll see what sort of a playstyle they go for. Now, it's a pretty significant chunk of change on the line coming out. PtitDrogo scouting with his pro. PtitDrogo tends to scout quite a bit these days and then just play straight up from there. Trying to harass that middle line of Reynor. Probe's still just hanging out. Probably will head to the door as the Lings are about to finish up. Just trying to be a complete pain in the neck for Reynor. Meanwhile, back at home, the Nexus is up. The Cyber Core is on the way. Standard stuff. We'll see if it's going to be a Stargate. That second gas on the way makes me think it probably will be. PtitDrogo eager to mine that as well. So yeah, likely going to be a Stargate. It worked out in the last game. He just got a bit of damage done with the Oracle. It's just that map control that it gives the Protoss. I mean, Lings can still skirt around, of course, but it gives the vision. Just something that going for Robos and Twilight Councils obviously doesn't do. We could see a Twilight one of these games for something like quick DTs, but I mean, I doubt something like that would work versus Reynor. Reynor's Overlord just hanging out. Third base on the way. Reynor not opting to send his Lings across the map this time or go for a bit of a cheeky poke. Adept's going to move in, see all those Lings and see all those drones, and know that, oh, he actually does shade on in there. That was a little risky, but he should be able to get out just fine. There we go. Maybe he's going to try and pounce on top of a drone. Gets a Ling for his efforts. Not going to finish off that drone. Second Adept moves on in. PtitDrogo just likes to control these Adepts early on, see what he can find. Speed will be finishing up in just a minute here, though, so he will have to be careful. He may be able to get a drone. Reynor, good pull, though. Gets all those drones out of harm's way, and the Adepts are forced to shade on out there. Phoenix first for PtitDrogo, gonna shut down that Overlord. Obviously, it's a Stargate. Reynor's well aware of that fact now. Adept shade on in. 3 Adepts for PtitDrogo. A Stalker out on the way as well, interestingly enough. Twilight Council following it up too. Making with that Stalker and another one on the way makes me, or first Stalker on the way, pardon me, makes me wonder if it's going to be something like Blink out of PtitDrogo. I mean, I don't necessarily think so, but a Stalker this time is sort of bizarre to me. Does make me wonder what he's going to be going for behind this. I mean, I doubt it would be something like Blink Disruptor. You just don't really make that versus Zerg. But we'll see. What's the tech of choice going to be? 2 Adepts warping in, so maybe Glaives. Oracle gets 2 kills once again, like the last game. Taking a bit of damage, though. Gonna have to be careful not to lose that. PtitDrogo not using his Twilight Council for anything just yet. Starts a Robo. So not researching any tech, just warping in more and more Adepts here. Interesting. Maybe he's trying to hit a bit of an odd timing. But he does not have Glaives started, even though he's got 6 Adepts. Maybe he's just gonna try and hit on in and then recall or something? That would be an interesting play. These Adepts are just running right on by. They're just heading on into the 3rd base. There's a lot of Lings warping in. And these are just slow Adepts, so this is an interesting play from PtitDrogo. Shades on out. Pretty much just lost an Adept in a glorified charge there. Retreats to his 3rd base, or should be retreating to his 3rd base with all these Lings on the way. Did PtitDrogo forget Resonating Glaives? Because he's got a lot of Adepts, and there's no Glaives. There's the Glaives. Okay, so yeah, I think this is just a very late Resonating Glaives. I think PtitDrogo may just have forgotten that, which is pretty unfortunate for him. These Adepts would be much more significant. Lings are going to get surround us, but once again, these aren't Adepts with Glaives. He's going to shade on into the natural. It looks like, nope, cancels his shade, going to head to the 3rd base. Maybe able to get a few drones here. Drones are on the run, Lings are coming in to save them. We'll see how many of these Adepts really do make it out, though. They're starting to fall pretty quickly here. And PtitDrogo's not getting too much damage done. Sentry is being warped in. There was an Immortal already out for PtitDrogo, so he's probably planning his follow-up right now. Just, if I had to guess, he'd warp in a lot more Adepts, maybe make another Immortal, and then go for it. Spire on the way here for Reynor. More drones, too. He's got a few roaches. Now, Reynor's not on a fantastic economy. He took a bit of damage done there. And just the fact that he had to invest in so many units. So PtitDrogo, with this 3rd base up and mining, he's not in a poor situation. Good save there by PtitDrogo with the Stalker in the wall. Locks those Lings in 2. Gonna get them. Nicely done with those force fields. I don't think Reynor maybe expected so many sentries. But now here comes the attack of the 3rd base. However, with the Immortal with all these Adepts, they should be forced back. What? Burns 2 force fields for a Roach. Probably worth it. Warping in some more sentries. Prism moving around. Now, while Reynor investing in these Roaches, maybe what PtitDrogo needs to make this next push work. Reynor's economy is sort of in an in-between spot. More Adepts are warping in. And Reynor's army, it's pretty strong, but it's not too significant. He will have the +1. He's warping into Mutas, so really it's gonna, all that matters is whether PtitDrogo is gonna kill his opponent. This Immortal is gonna be absolutely huge with this push. PtitDrogo gonna need to do a big warp in here, and he's got a pretty significant army at this point. Adepts are not horrible when they have Resonating Glaives. Now this is gonna be +1 Roach Ravager, though. These sentries should just be enough to push back these Mutas. So the base is going to go down. PtitDrogo does see the Mutas. He's warping in Stalkers, though. Reynor isn't committing to mass Muta, though. He's likely just going to go for a base trade, if I had to guess. But PtitDrogo is pretty ahead in the base trade thing. He's starting some shield batteries back at home. Would be good to see him just start researching Blink haphazardly, but he's pretty busy on the front. Almost loses a few sentries to some corrosive piles. He's poking in right now. This Immortal is huge. Guardian shields are up. A few force fields going down. He's doing his best to micro. Trading versus Roaches at this angle, though, is not going to go too well. It looks like he's warping in a lot more depths, but maybe he's making it work. Sentries got a lot of force fields to burn, and he's trading on with some of these Roaches. This Immortal is so key to this push, racking up 11 kills so far. Now, back at PtitDrogo's main base, though, he's starting to lose units, so he really needs to make this work. He's just pushing on in. He's got quite a strong army right now. The Stalker's putting out damage. And they, with that shield battery, a few Stalkers, it looks like that PtitDrogo is going to manage to hold on back at home, so he may be taking a 2-0 lead versus our Italian Zerg here. He's poking on into the natural, and then Reynor's just really boxed on in, breaking the force fields with corrosive fire. He's going to try and dive forward, but there's just too much here, I think, for PtitDrogo. I think the drones will need to be pulled, perhaps, at the next charge. And there they go. The drones are coming in with this. Corrosive Balls need to break those force fields there. Ravagers and Roaches, they have +1. They're getting on top of this army. PtitDrogo, he's starting to bleed off a fair few units, but 34 drones have gone down. So even if he doesn't manage to kill his opponent here, Reynor hasn't done enough counter damage to make this work, I don't believe. That shield battery is just buying too much time. And it looks like PtitDrogo is just going to clean up the last of these units. Actually loses the Prism there, though, so that's a bit of hope for a Reynor there. He's had to remake another Roach Horn, though, so he's just making Lings. The Mutas are dealing a bit of damage back at home, but they haven't killed a single probe. They killed the shield battery. A recall occurs, but Reynor's just in trouble. He has the 4th base, but he lost the 3rd. He's on 21 drones. PtitDrogo's on 3 Nexus. Even has 1 Phoenix. That 1 early game Phoenix is actually going to be able to clean up these Mutas, it looks like. Gonna have to micro it well, but does lose it. But there's too much here. Reynor making a Hydralisk Den, but on 24 drones, what can you do? He's making another Muta. I don't think he really knows what he needs. He cancels the Hydra Den. Making some Roaches. Maybe he's going to go for an all-in here. And he could maybe make it work, but with these sentries, PtitDrogo is going to be able to make some Warpins too. He's not on a great economy, but it's certainly better than Reynor's. So yeah, I guess Reynor just has to go for broke here. Maybe he's going to go for a Ling run by, but there's a Stalker in the wall. PtitDrogo is not slacking here. Muta's looking for anything but that 1 Phoenix that was built. Going to be able to clean up just this small handful. Ling's trying to get on in there. Maybe they'll get the Adept and then get out. Reynor's down on supply. He's ahead on army supply. He's got the upgrades. Maybe he can make it work with an attack, but this is a lot of Stalkers. Then the Immortal, so PtitDrogo's army is pretty strong. 11 Ravagers. It's really just going to come down to the big fight for Reynor, I suppose. I mean, he's not remade too many drones. He's sort of given up that hope. He's got a good number of Ravagers here. They've got +1. PtitDrogo, though, just made another Immortal. Well, it's about to pop out. And with that, I think it's just going to be too much. Reynor's falling behind on supply. He's going ahead in army supply. This is going to be quite a desperate attack, though. Thank you for the star balloons, by the way. Ace. Alrighty, so here we go. He's going for an attack. He's splitting up between the natural. He can't get force fielded, though. If he gets force fielded there, he's just dead. And now these few units may just be caught out. Fortunately, there's no blink for PtitDrogo, but I think he's going to have to hit the 3rd. He went for a counterattack. Reynor trying to make any play he can, but he's still down a ton of drones. He's equal on army supply. Really the only thing he has going for him is the upgrade. And eventually that's not going to be a factor. This is just going to be a lot of Ravagers. I think Reynor just needs to flood the Lings behind this. PtitDrogo even make a few Phoenix, lifting up some of these Ravagers. Corrosive Ball is going to rain down. We'll see what sort of a fight Reynor's going to be able to get. PtitDrogo does have to keep kiting back. These Phoenix are being a nuisance, though, picking up units. PtitDrogo eats a fair few Corrosive Balls there, though. The army for Reynor is being thinned out, though. PtitDrogo is going to eat a few more Biles. More Corrosive Balls going down, but PtitDrogo, I think, is just going to dive on top of this, and with that, I think that's Reynor dead. The Mutalisks come in, but too little, too late. And with that, PtitDrogo, I think, going to be taking a 2-0 lead. And that's going to put him in a pretty good situation. Thank you for the balloons as well, Char. I appreciate it. Okay, so here we are. The 3rd map is going to be Backwater. So PtitDrogo taking the first 2 maps is putting him in a pretty good situation here. Coming in. I mean, I personally didn't see his games in WCS, but I heard he was looking pretty good. Making it to the quarterfinals. Who did he beat to make it to the quarterfinals? I mean, it's EU, so chances are it was a Zerg. Let's just have a look here as we get on into the lobby. But Backwater will be the next map. It's a very important one. I mean, it's really whether PtitDrogo is able to snowball. We haven't had too many reverse sweeps. Okay, let's have a look. Who did PtitDrogo beat? Okay, he beat a laser 3-1, so that's a pretty impressive PvZ feat. So, we'll just have to see. I mean, I'm not sure if a laser was in Korea, because that could make a bit of a difference. Scarlet saying it's going to be a 4-0. We'll just have to see. Just making sure that both these guys are ready. Backwater is quite a decent map for Protoss, I believe. I mean, it's a big one. I think I can go either way, really. Both these guys are ready. We're going to get on into it, and we'll find out. PtitDrogo just looking pretty solid. Alrighty. Here's that PvZ. Game number, or it's a best of 7, pardon me. And currently up 2-0, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. It is PtitDrogo. And his opponent, spawning down the bottom right-hand side. The Italian Zerg, currently down 0-2. Is gonna really want to take this one to start bringing it back. PtitDrogo, once again, that low ground wall off. I mean, you always do that as Protoss these days. And then Reynor, no early pool or anything like that. And I doubt we'll see one. What sort of aggression could Reynor go for? Maybe a Nidus? But that's not too common in ZVP to my knowledge. I mean, I know it happens in PvZ for sure, but it's not that common. I think we have to see a proxy hatch, and I can't remember what the next map is, but I want to see a proxy hatch out of Reynor. Something real cheesy. Or just a 3 hatch before pool. That always works, too. Not that that's cheese. But I would like to see some cheese coming out of Reynor later on in this series. Or PtitDrogo as well. So PtitDrogo, I think, can just assume that it's going to be 3 hatches after seeing the lack of a pool. We'll go right to the third base just to make sure. Maybe a Ling Flood or something out of Reynor? We'll just have to see. I mean, because PtitDrogo has been looking pretty solid, pretty confident into the early and mid game. I mean, that was sort of an odd build in the last game, but it worked. He was decisive enough to make that attack happen. Alrighty, so we have the Stargate on the way here for Drogo. No surprise there. And the Adept moving out. His friend will be along the way. So PtitDrogo, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's certainly been working for him so far. Just making sure that he knows what he's up against. Now, Reynor did get away with that fast third hatchery. PtitDrogo harassing a little bit. So far, Reynor doing a fantastic job microing those Lings, though. Not losing any of them. Two Adepts are here now. Over Reynor's made quite a few Lings to try and get ready to intercept this PtitDrogo. Not really able to get on in there. He's trying to commit, but those Queens did a lot of damage to the other Adept, so not going to get too much there, I don't think. Just going to have to retreat. Phoenix is out. His Oracle follow-up, so same build coming out of PtitDrogo, and I think it's just going to work out quite well. Ling speed on the way here. Spores on the way for Reynor. So far, PtitDrogo has just managed to get 2 drones with his Oracle. We'll see if he's able to find that in this game. Queen's in position this time around. Phoenix will lift, though. Oracle comes in. There is still no kills. Reynor doing a good job microing those drones, turning them into spores. He gets the 2, though. Not even sure where that Oracle found the second, but oh, he does lose the Oracle, though. So, don't know if that was worth it. PtitDrogo really had to try hard for those 2 kills, but losing the Oracle is a bit of a pain. The Oracles haven't been too big of a factor in the previous matches, but it's always nice to have the extra. PtitDrogo did build a second, though, so he will have that for scouting, will have revelation and whatnot. And he's following this up with a Robo Twilight Council. So we'll just have to see what PtitDrogo is going to go for. Reynor, Hydralisk then on the way this time. PtitDrogo was trying to find something else so far. Has just gotten the 2 drones. PtitDrogo picking up those 2 adepts, maybe going to be going for a bit of harassment. He's researching charge, so it looks like it's going to be a repeat of game number 1 in which he goes for that charge Archon attack. Now, I think Reynor's going to be a little bit more prepared. I mean, the timings are a little bit different. Oop, there's that accidental zoom in. I think that's just one of the things I'll have to accept with this new mouse. So Hydras are already on the way. PtitDrogo's attack, I'm not sure if it's just a little bit later, or if it's a Reynor's defense and whatnot. Because earlier, Reynor is committing to these units just on 57 drones, being safe, maybe planning some aggression. These adepts getting a few drones, nicely done by PtitDrogo. 4 drones killed so far, denying a good chunk of mining time, and just going to be able to get out in that warp prism. So very well done. I love seeing harass like that. Wall for PtitDrogo stands strong. A single lone Hydra. Just harassing. Double Robo for PtitDrogo, however, he could be caught off guard a little bit. These walls on backwater can be pretty vulnerable at times. This Immortal does get surrounded by the Lings. So do the Zealots there, however, it looks like there's going to be enough for PtitDrogo to clean this up. A few more Hydras on the outside of the wall, though. 1 bold Zealot does go down. And now Lurkers are here. Now, I don't know if PtitDrogo has an answer for this. He does have the Observer. There's an Overseer, though. Oh, that Prism almost goes down. That's a pretty big deal. Reynor may just be hitting a pretty strong timing here versus PtitDrogo. There's going to be 5 Lurkers in total. Now, that's a pretty serious number, whereas PtitDrogo is just powering up. However, PtitDrogo with his double Robo, non-stop Chrono, has gotten 3 Immortals. Revelation goes down, thankfully, for that Oracle. However, there's a lot of buffer here for these Lurkers, and now we're going to have to see if Reynor's able just to poke forward. 2 of those Zealots go down. The Lings try and dive on in there, but a good warping by PtitDrogo blocking that. 4 Immortals are now out. We're just going to have to see. The Archons are going to be huge for dealing with the Lings, but it's still quite a choke point here. We'll have to see if PtitDrogo is going to try and go around or something like that. He's a little bit stuck, but Reynor's not getting too far into his base or anything just like this. But Reynor doing a good job using this positioning, even bringing his queens here, or a couple of them at least, for some transfuse. Here come the Lings, maybe looking for a surround, but sizing up this army. These 2 guys are trying to find out the best way that this fight's going to go for them, because a fight is going to happen. Looks like PtitDrogo may just go for it, but no, he knows it's not going to be a good fight. He backs up, but he's bleeding off. I believe he lost an Archon there. No, he hasn't lost an Archon yet, but one of them is dangerously low. He's going for the fight. The Lings come in for this round. Lurkers are dealing out so much damage right now. The army for PtitDrogo, its focus was pulled out. However, there may just be enough. There's all these Immortals, but a huge number of Lings is rallying forward, and that might have just been enough to save Reynor before these Immortals can really start churning out a lot of damage. And with all these Lurkers here, it looks like Reynor is going to take a match. And that's going to be a starting point for him to come back in this series, I think. PtitDrogo's in a lot of trouble right now. He's got a few Immortals, but they're all so bruised, and Lurkers are running into his natural, so that's where the trouble begins. The Robos are going to be unpowered. Probes are pulled versus Lurkers. That is never a good thing. PtitDrogo's in a lot of trouble. Look at that, so smart. Trying to repower the Robo with the War Prism. That just goes down, and I think he's dead in the water here. Zealot's charging on in. Observer gets sniped though, and I think that's going to be game. There's no more detection for PtitDrogo. Lurker's morphing in his natural here. Well played by Reynor. Okay, it's just a... PtitDrogo apparently having a bit of trouble with that timing. I have heard that it's a pretty strong build though. Haven't seen too much of it, but... well played there by Reynor, making that attack work. So we'll get into the fourth map, which is going to be black-pink. PtitDrogo, though, still does have a lead. Reynor starting to bring it back. Glad everyone's enjoying this. I'm just going through the chat. Not that I can read 90% of it, but... Alrighty, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying all these games. Alrighty. Alrighty, both these guys are ready, so we'll get on into it. Is Reynor going to tie it up, or will PtitDrogo pull ahead? Well, pull further ahead. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even clue into that, but PtitDrogo's using his own portrait. Alrighty, but I've already said his name. The French Protoss spawning down the bottom left-hand side. And his opponent spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. It is Reynor. We'll see what sort of builds coming out of both these guys. So far, nothing too cheesy. I want to see a right proper cheese coming out of one of these guys. Show me some dirty cheese. Probe moving on out for Drogo. Scouting as always. Like to see a player consistent like that. We've only seen one early pool out of Reynor, and that was versus Clem, and it just so happened to be the 2-Rax game. PtitDrogo coming in, gonna harass with his probe. Trying to be a right pain there to Reynor. Eventually the probe's going to have to get out of there, but so far he's really just making sure that Reynor has to spam right-click those drones on his minerals. And like, it looks like it's just such a simple thing that PtitDrogo's doing here, but it's just, you just have to be so fast. I mean, you just mess up. That's just practice showing right there. That you eventually reach this level in which you can just harass by mining. So I believe we'll see the same build out of PtitDrogo. There's the Stargate, there's the first Adept on the way, second will be on the way after that. Reynor is the one who maybe will change it up. We'll just have to see. Now, the games have all gone different directions in this best of 7 so far. So I mean, it's not like I expect the same thing, just the same opening here. Probe may actually go down here. Adept does come to save the day, though. Adept may be able to get one of these lings here. Gets one of them there, so Reynor out on the map actually loses 2 of the lings there, and now this Adept might have a bit more freedom to poke and prod. We'll see. I don't think PtitDrogo will commit with the one Adept. I mean, Zerg players are really good at saving the drones with spores. PtitDrogo coming in, scouting around. Now the second Adept's in. We'll see how PtitDrogo does commit. Reynor going to be down a couple of lings. Looks like PtitDrogo will be committing into the natural, whether he'll shade out, and he will. He's going back home. Reynor is supply blocked, so I guess that means we can assume 1 unit is out on the field already. That would be the Phoenix. Oracle follow-up. Robo started right after there's the Twilight Council. PtitDrogo on 2 bases still. Mining a lot of gas, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be that Zealot Archon attack. And this time it's going to be early like last one. Like the last one anyway, pardon me. Oracle coming on in, maybe going to get a drone. Reynor doesn't quite save it in time. Phoenix and Oracle will get out of there. PtitDrogo just getting the 1 kill so far. However, he keeps the Oracle alive this time, so things going just a little bit differently. Evo Chamber on the way for Reynor already. Hydralisk Den on the way for Reynor. So this game looking pretty similar. Pretty familiar anyway. Now we see PtitDrogo has that Zealot out, so he will be going for charge, going for that 3rd base, then going for the attack. So this is looking familiar to, I already forget the map name, but each player took their turn attacking, but ultimately PtitDrogo came out ahead. So we'll see if he goes for that large commitment. He's warping in all the gateways. He's got a lot of gas banked up, so I don't see why not. Warp Prism moving out on the map. Two Zealots warp in as the Twilight Council finishes up. This will be the Templar warped in, and then the Archons. Ling's working away on those back rocks. Comes the first 2 Templar warped in, then there's a few more. Going to be 3 Archons in total. I'm pretty sure Reynor is well aware of what's coming his way, though. Gonna have sensed this out. Either way, he's just making a lot of Hydras and Lings. This time he's on a few more drones. Actually, maybe he's not completely aware and he's worried about some sort of drop, but he really wants to consolidate his army here, or he could just die. PtitDrogo's moving in. He's got 3 Archons. He's got the Oracle, too. The Warp Prism just needs to be safe. Gonna begin doing what it does best, being warping. However, it may actually go down. PtitDrogo needs to move that back. He moves it back, but not far enough. So we're looking at a repeat of game number 1 in which that Warp Prism goes down. However, PtitDrogo's attack looking pretty strong this time around. We'll see what he's able to get done. He got a lot of drones the last time he pushed. This time, he's trading a lot with the army, and this attack seems to be going longer. However, I think that Reynor may just hold on right now. However, these Archons are going to be getting on top of drones right now. A few Queens are going down. 9 drones have fallen, so he's gotten a good chunk of damage here. And he's cleaned up a lot of units and is just sitting on top of this. He's actually warped in reinforcements, so a ton of Zealots are coming in. Most of the Archons will have fallen by then, though, so we'll just have to see what these Zealots can do. PtitDrogo, I think, would have won this game easily if he hadn't lost that Warp Prism, so I think that's something he'll need to be aware of in future games. But so far, he's just going to retreat with these Zealots and now have to prepare, but this is looking very similar to game number 1. He's just going to start making these Immortals, start getting out Storm, and then just have to defend his 3rd base, so seeing some shield batteries go up would be good, because Reynor, I believe, will be counterattacking this time, or this time he's actually going for a Lurker Den, so, and is droning up. I was actually just about to say maybe he won't. That the Lurker Den is still bugged, to my knowledge. That is not what it's supposed to look like. PtitDrogo, I believe, is just sort of preparing for this attack that's going to be coming, but it's not going to be coming just yet. It is going to be Lurkers. A Roach Warren even going down, interestingly enough, maybe for some Ravagers or something along those lines. +2 on the way for Reynor, so he does have that +1. PtitDrogo, no upgrades started just yet, no Forges on the field even. We'll see if PtitDrogo does decide to move out for an attack. I think he is going to, either that or... Yeah, no, he's definitely moving out for an attack. Bringing a probe, not sure if that's for pylons or what. Where is his Warp Prism? He has that moving out across the map too. He's looking to take a 4th base while doing this. Picks off a Hydra or 2 there, nicely done. Now he's going to be moving on in. Maybe identified or clued into the fact that if Reynor's not coming for an attack, then he's got to be going into something else, so it's my time to attack. So PtitDrogo coming in for round 2. This time he's got Psionic Storm. There's no Lurkers done for Reynor just yet, and it looks like he may be going for this fight without them. Reynor's going to have to come in at a good angle for this. PtitDrogo is ahead on supply. He just killed too many drones earlier, so Reynor has fallen in supply. Psionic Storm going down. There may just be too much. There's so many Zealots for PtitDrogo. Reynor kiting back, but he's gone about as far back as he can. So I think PtitDrogo is going to be taking a 3-1 lead in this series, and is looking good to reclaim his title. But keep in mind, this is a best of 7, so he's not there just yet, but it looks like he will certainly be taking this game. Reynor is trying to consolidate here. PtitDrogo may have overextended a little bit. However, 12 drones have fallen this time around. The 3rd base is basically ransacked, and then the 4th, not much of a factor at this time. He's still fighting up at the front. Reynor trying to do his best to hold on, but more Zealots have warped in. This army just does not have what it takes to clean this up, it seems. The 3rd base still alive, but looks like it will be going down. More Zealots warping in. 14 drones have fallen so far. Reynor trying to hang on, making more and more Hydras here. However, I think this 3rd base is pretty much done for. Hydras fighting at the natural with some drone support. Reynor kiting back, but I think it's a slow death at this point for our Italian Zerg. These 2 Immortals dealing a lot of damage. Good micro on the Warp Prism there, keeping that Archon alive. 3rd base has fallen now. PtitDrogo has a 4th base up back at home. He's making an Immortal. He's producing more units. Could go for another Warp in right now. He actually is taking a bit of a bad fight there. Saves the 1 Immortal though. Doesn't have too much of a buffer for these, however. May just be enough. These Zealots now pushing forward. Reynor has to pull back once again, making as much as he can with his bruised economy there. He's hanging on just barely. Alrighty, so we'll see PtitDrogo poking on into the natural here. But so far, Reynor's done a good job just shaving off the odd unit here and there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. PtitDrogo, I'm not sure if he's scouted the 4th base, but at this point, he's still in such a good situation. He definitely knows it's there now, so he's going to be going for it. Maybe just right-click on this hatchery and then leave Reynor on 2 bases, making as much as he can. Drones have been pulled. Hydra's managed to pick off 1 of the Immortals. They're putting out a lot of damage now that they have +2. PtitDrogo microing to the best of it. If that Prism goes down, maybe, but there's still these 2 Immortals, these Zealots. Not much reinforcement-wise coming in for Reynor. He's lost 5 more drones, and his economy is looking pretty rough. He's holding on a lot longer than I gave him credit for. But looks like PtitDrogo recalling that one immortal, but it will go down. So Reynor survives, but he's in a very poor situation. Some zealots and another immortal crossing the map. I think the only danger right now is PtitDrogo heavily overcommitting somehow, but look at all these Archons he's going to warp in. 5 Archons, just like that. He's got such a huge bank. He's warping in cannons, because why not? The Lurker Den went down, so Reynor has to rebuild that. He's making drones, so he's going to saturate that 4th base, but now it's really only his 3rd. PtitDrogo is on 4 bases. So it's looking pretty rough here for our Italian Zerg. That 1 shield battery, the real MVP, not letting any of those probes go down. PtitDrogo also is +1 now, so the upgrade gap is closing as he's chrono boosting out once again, and he's now getting up 3 more Archons, so that's going to put him at something like 9 or 8, pardon me. Not that great at math. Now, a few more gateways being warped in for PtitDrogo. May as well, he has a huge bank. He's up on army supply once again. Reynor managed to hold the past attack. These Hydras spit out a lot of damage, and I mean, they're more mobile on creep than the Protoss army, but PtitDrogo is going to have Psy Storm once again, and it's going to look pretty rough. PtitDrogo wants to reclaim that Afreeca World Crown. Not that this game will do it for him, but it'll put him in quite a fantastic position here. PtitDrogo, another big warp-in, kills off the 4th of Reynor, who decided to sack the base, but he's still only on 2 bases. He's going to try and make a miracle happen with a handful of Lurkers. And I mean, Lurkers are quite a miracle unit, and PtitDrogo doesn't have detection, so he can't push in here. Maybe Reynor's going to put the Lurkers on hold position and hope for no detection here. PtitDrogo making an Oracle though, so I think he's aware at this point. Ling run by at the 3rd, but there's cannons, there's zealots. PtitDrogo doubling the supply of Reynor. It's been a very slow death. Another base was built by Reynor, but these zealots killing off 6 drones there. Reynor down to 30. PtitDrogo in a pretty good situation here. An observer is now with the army creep being cleaned up. PtitDrogo just poking around, starting a Stargate, because why not when you're on 5 bases versus a 2-base Zerg. The zealots do get caught. Players are equal on upgrades right now, by the way. PtitDrogo is going to be heading into an upgrade lead. Looks like PtitDrogo is poking on in here. Finally just going to be going for it, because why not? Look at all these Archons. Psy Storms are going to go down. It's not the most efficient trade, but I think it's going to be enough just to end out this game. He's going to get on top of those units there. GG gets called. PtitDrogo had a 3-1 lead. Alrighty, I think we're just going to have a very short break here. Just for a second. We'll get on into the 5th map, which is going to be black, or a neon violet square, pardon me. But we'll be getting on into the lobby, and then we'll just have a quick 30-second break here. Alrighty, I apologize for that short second of downtime. But we're gonna see. This could potentially be the last match of today, of tonight, wherever you are. Appreciate everyone tuning on in, enjoying this event. I'm certainly enjoying it. Just waiting for both the players to be ready here. Then we'll move on in. Appreciate so many of you guys tuning on in. Bly is the best, seeing in chat. I mean, Bly's not playing. It's been a while since he played in Afreeca World. Alrighty, both players are ready, so we're going to get on into it now. And now we'll see. Is Reynor going to be able to make the comeback happen? It's not quite a reverse sweep, but it's it would have to be a pretty good one. A pretty good comeback with PtitDrogo playing so solid. Look at that, I already said his name again. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. The French Protoss, the previous Afreeca World Champion, looking to reclaim his crown, showing that he can do it over and over again, every now and then. And his opponent, new to Afreeca World, if he wants to snag the title of the current champion, he'll have to make quite a comeback here. It's Reynor. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar build coming out of PtitDrogo. Now, the map is a larger one, so this game could certainly go the distance. Now, I don't think either of these guys are particularly huge fans of playing late game. But, it's possible that we see something along those lines pop up. If PtitDrogo has decided that Neon Violet Square isn't the best map for something like a charge lot Archon timing, which I don't think it's the greatest map for. So we'll just have to see. Standard stuff. Not much to say about the two builds going on right now. I mean, there's that usual probe harassment. Reynor's probably getting pretty fed up of that the further this best of 7 goes on. Appreciate everyone tuning on into Afreeca World. This is our 15th event. I think it's our, I want to say, 6th or 7th of the year. And we're only in May so far, so we could certainly have a fair few of these this year. Ling's poking that probe, the Adept's coming in, his Adept friend on the way, Stargate. I think I could probably do this build after watching PtitDrogo do it so many times. Not as well, but I think I have a new Protoss build to try one of these days. Okay, yes. Alrighty, it's time for Reynor to change it up. I see a Baneling nest on the way. A good number of Lings on the way as well. Now, I think Reynor wants to hide some of these Lings too, but oh, PtitDrogo may scout the Baneling nest. No, the Adept's going to want to shade out. Oh, look at this. He's trying to sneak on by the Adept. And he will with the Lings. Losing no probes, but look at this. PtitDrogo's out of position for this. He's got the wall, but... Oh, pardon me, Lings already snuck around. How did I not clue into this? But here comes a lot more Lings. The Adept was recalled. PtitDrogo has gone for a full wall, but I think we need to see a shield battery started up immediately to reinforce this. Reynor working on this. He's got a good number of Lings in the main base. He's got a Baneling nest up too. So he will be able to try and bust this if he so chooses. He needs to work on the Cybercore. Look at this, these Lings coming in, gonna harass. They could maybe hit the Cybercore from the other side, that would be pretty big, but they've all gone down now so far. The Oracle's coming in too, activating his Pulsar Beam. Reynor's forced away, so it looks like that this attack could just not work, and that PtitDrogo could just be taking a quick one here. Banelings are here. They should be enough to bust this Cybercore, and they will be, and now Lings are gonna get on top of this. Actually, they just run right on by, not surrounding the Adepts there. There we go, now they're getting on top. The shield battery has plenty of energy here, though. However, a lot of probes are starting to fall, but with an attack like this, Reynor does need to kill pretty much all of the probes. Another Oracle comes on in, so Reynor's going to need to split the Lings right now. PtitDrogo going to have to do good micro with the probes here. These Lings are pretty bruised, though, and a few more Lings are coming in for Reynor, but I don't know if he got enough damage done right now. He's going to morph some Banelings. I was about to say that's probably the best move for him up front. The shield battery's been the real MVP so far. However, Lings coming from the back are going to be able to work on this pylon, and that may just be enough to bring PtitDrogo down. He starts a Void Ray here. However, I think that Reynor may just have bought himself a game in this series, and with that, the comeback could potentially start. GG gets called. I'm glad we got to see something like that coming out of Reynor. So, very well played by Reynor, making a decisive move like that, and it worked. And I'm glad he went for something like that. So Biogenesis is going to be the next map. It's a bit of a smaller one. We could see something crazy coming out on this one, but we're running out of maps for these guys to play on. It's either Reynor wins the next two or PtitDrogo wins the next one. But with something like that, I think Reynor, it could just be worth it for him to keep doing things like that. Maybe PtitDrogo will turn it around and say, right, you want to cheese? I'll cheese. Although I'm not sure of what's a great Protoss cheese these days. I mean, there's always something, right? Like, there is always something. Getting both these guys into this game, but it's a pretty close series. Trying to get these guys into the lobby. Sometimes with Battle.net it can be a bit of a pain. There we are. Okay, both these guys are ready. It's a Biogenesis for the second to last map of the day. What are each of these guys going to break out here? Alrighty, he currently needs one more game to take it. He does not want this to slip out of his hands. It is PtitDrogo. And his opponent spawning down the bottom left-hand side, or bottom right-hand side of the map, pardon me. Bought himself another game in this series, staying alive. It's Reynor. Now, sometimes we see completely straight-up matches. I was about to go into this entire tangent on what we can see on a Biogenesis, but Reynor's living up to the map. And it's one of those things, sometimes you can mind games your opponent like this. PtitDrogo could very well just be playing standard. He goes for that early probe scout every game, but the Lings are going to be on their way pretty quickly here with this 14 pool coming out of Reynor. Maybe Reynor deciding that he wants to go to sleep soon, as it's getting late over there. But it's an early pool. PtitDrogo's coming in. Maybe able to deny the expo. That would be pretty huge. Oh, and he does manage to deny it there. Now, Lings are already on the way, though, so Reynor's going to go look for another Expo here. Queen on the way. No gas with this attack, so it is a gasless attack. Reynor has to take the third. He's going to see if PtitDrogo will cancel the pylon, and he won't. So Reynor actually just delayed his expansion a little more there, and now PtitDrogo is going to block the third. Oh, this is such a nightmare situation for Reynor. He tried to really hope that that would be cancelled because he wanted to take his natural, but now he can't. He may even have to send out another drone or something. PtitDrogo could even throw up another pylon, but he does have to prepare for these Lings, which are coming across the map here. Reynor's expansion is very, very delayed, though. In fact, he's just going to delay it even more and go for the natural. I think Reynor could just be in a lot of trouble here. He's not going to get much done here. PtitDrogo has already pulled the probes. Another Zealot on the way, and with only 6 Lings, I don't think there's much that Reynor can do. He has yet to start another Expo. What's he doing on one base at this point? I think Reynor's just pretty dead in the water here. He hasn't killed the pylon. He hasn't expanded elsewhere. He's not mining enough gas to make something like a roach attack happen. I mean, he's got so many minerals. There we go. Maybe throw up another gas and a roach warren, but what else are you supposed to do? He's in trouble. Our Italian Zerg is going to need something pretty good here to bring this series back at this point. Gonna have to pull a quick one on PtitDrogo. He's getting out a roach warren, but PtitDrogo's got a Stargate in his main wall, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Void Ray coming out. Maybe a Baneling Nest would have been the right call instead of a roach warren here. PtitDrogo not starting an Oracle yet. We'll see if he does, or if he does save for a Void Ray. It's going to be an Oracle. So nothing too good versus roaches. Queens are moving across the map for Reynor, but he changed his mind. I think we're seeing a lot of indecision from this younger player here. Third base looks like it will be on the way for Reynor, but it's just going to be so late. His natural just getting up at the 4-minute mark. Starting a third base, yeah, that'll help, but PtitDrogo's in a much better economic situation. A few roaches were made, but it looks like he backed out of the all-in, so instead of just droning, he made these roaches. Queens are here to intercept the Oracle at least, which is nice for him. The Oracle not going to find too much done there. There is no Queen in the main base, though, so the Oracle very well may find some damage. Queen coming in. Oracle manages to get 2 kills. That's PtitDrogo's number of the day. He probably got that out of a fortune cookie or something. Because 2 drones. Pretty much every match here with that Oracle. Overlord comes into the main base, scouts out what's going on. PtitDrogo, though, still in a pretty good situation. Few drones going down in the main base to these 2 oracles. There's just the 1 queen there to defend. Reynor tried to cut the spore, but paid the price. Well, he cut the spore in the main base. Not in the natural, though. So Reynor's in a pretty bad situation. This could just be the slow death. I think PtitDrogo may just go for a big charge move out here with some immortals. PtitDrogo comes into the third base, sees nothing there. Gonna park the oracles for any drone that pops, though. Ravager's coming in. Ooh, nope. They will not hit. Reynor saves one of the drones. Another one goes down, though, and ultimately all of them die. Including the spore. Killing the eggs. I didn't even know oracles could really do that. And now Reynor's in a lot of trouble. So far we've seen that he isn't one to give up. But he's going to have to fight really hard to bring this back. He's pretty close on supply because he's got all these roaches and ravagers, but besides that, it's not looking too great for him. PtitDrogo is really just powering up on 2 bases here. So maybe Reynor, if he holds on and PtitDrogo overcommits or something, maybe he can bring this back. But it's not a great situation here for Reynor. Some more creep spread at the 3rd base I think would be good here. Looks like PtitDrogo will be taking a 3rd base here, but I think a move out will be coming relatively soon. Templar Archives are going to be finishing up, so there's going to be Archons on the way. And with that, Reynor's going to have one hell of an army to stop. He sees this army. I think it's just got to be roaches on the way for him, though. PtitDrogo, I think, was also mind gaming a bit that he may be going for Storm, showing those Templars not morphing. Here we go. PtitDrogo moving in. Possibly for the final attack, possibly to reclaim his crown here. A lot of Ravagers on the field for Reynor. Good Corrosive Bows can always make a world of difference. Didn't quite find that Prism, though. A massive Ling counterattack could be ready, but just have to wait and see. Reynor looking to go for a surround, it seems. We're actually going to be going for a counterattack, but I don't think there's a honest-to-God hope in hell that Reynor can do a counterattack and hold at home. Corrosive Bow's going down, getting some decent connections. He can fight on the ramp, but he's let off a lot of supply. A lot of those Zealots are very weak, but most of the army for Reynor has gone down. Ling's counterattacking at the 3rd. Maybe with these Lings here, he would have been able to hold on. However, it seems that PtitDrogo does have too much. Reynor's ahead in supply right now, though, so I guess we can't count him out. However, it's looking pretty rough for him. This army of PtitDrogo, there's an Archon at the Natural, some Immortals camping. Reynor has pretty much just been overwhelmed right now. The Lings probably going to kill the 3rd base here. Maybe these Zealots will clean it up, but it's just too much. PtitDrogo on all the production, on all the bases. GG gets called, and PtitDrogo will take the series. We'll take the series 4-2. Well played by PtitDrogo. Reynor putting in a good fight, managing to make it to the finals of his first Afreeca World. Well done. We'll certainly love to have him back. Such an up-and-coming player, but it's great. Congrats to PtitDrogo for having his championship back. I mean, well played by him. He just played very solid. And yeah, so very well played by PtitDrogo. Now, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Feel free to leave a favorite on the stream.